Hey YouTube, welcome. Erratic Behavior here, and I'm going to show you how to make a Batmobile using a plethora of parts. Just give you a little test run of it first. There we go. Boom. And now so we got a fully working Batmobile. Oops. Let's get to it. Alrighty, y'all. So to get started, we're just gonna build ourselves a little base. It doesn't have to be too crazy. Just make sure it's not touching the ground so that when we use the ship helm to bring physics to it, it doesn't mess up. We're gonna start off with a 3x7, is it? We'll start off with this, yeah. 3x7, and yeah, let's go ahead. We will grab a ship helm. It does not matter which one. You're not gonna need it anyways after this. So we grab the ship helm, place it down, boom, assemble, and now it has physics. We can go ahead and get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. And now that the object has physics, let's go ahead and build out the frame on it. First, let's start by building the engine. So these are all the parts that we're gonna need for the base infrastructure of the Batmobile. We're gonna need the regular engine, the crankshaft, the steel cogwheel, the large steel cogwheel, mechanical belt, steel pipe, steel mechanism, and engine cylinder. And then we'll use the MC schematic from the crate mod to be able to change the design and output of the engine. So to begin, what we'll do is we'll take 3 engine parts here and connect them. Now we're gonna actually build out the engine. First, we start with the crankshaft, the steel cogwheel, the large steel cogwheel, the mechanical belt, 2 steel pipes, and 1 steel mechanism. All right, so this is a common thing that happens. You'll see, boom. So this is the I-type engine. I believe this is going to be the weakest. Let's go ahead, we'll take all of that out, and then let's start this one more time. So, boom. And then do remember, before you put on the, put any of the first parts, you have to switch the type so you can get a more efficient drive. I believe W is the strongest. We're not gonna need that. We'll just stick with the U. No, we're gonna go with the V. The V style, I believe, is actually a little bit stronger than U, but not as strong as W. And now we'll do this again. Crankshaft, steel cogwheel, large, mechanical belt, steel pipe, and then the steel mechanism. And now, you can see, boom. And I think with every piston added, that adds more power to it. So that is all we need to do for the engine. Let's go ahead, we'll remove these parts for now, and then we'll also grab this creative fuel tank, the turbo, the injector, the industrial pipe, and then the CO2 scrubber. We'll also grab these chairs as well. So from this point forward, what we will do is on this middle one, we'll add the industrial pipe, and that is gonna allow, boom, the fuel tank here to drop fuel directly into the engine. If we weren't using that industrial pipe, we would have to make a way more complex and tank and engine design. But this allows us to simplify it. So technically this is not quite survival friendly. However, if you want to adjust it to be able to make it survival friendly, you absolutely can. But here you can see the gas is flowing through the engine. all the way around. And then here it's gonna stay completely filled. So I'm also gonna grab a wrench, boom, because that will allow you to hide the gas tank. All right, perfect. Now what we're gonna do is we'll place our seats right here. Just kidding. We're gonna put our seats right here, boom. And then we'll put boom, and then boom. And so by putting that there, all of the CO2 that builds up when the engine is running will go ahead and disperse. Let's see. So we will power this on to C. And it is not. Give me 1 second. Oh, well, that's why I put this in the wrong spot. That's a-okay. Let's go ahead and change this. Boom. And then we'll take the industrial pipe out of that one piece. Where did it go? Industrial, just like so. And we're gonna actually put it on this last one here. And then cheers, we'll go back one. All right, so I had it right for a second, but sometimes you gotta mess with it a little bit until it starts making sense. And let's see. Oh, there we go. All right, perfect. So now those are going down. And then which one of these had the industrial pipe? This one has it. All right, yeah. So we'll put that right here. We'll put you right here. And then you in there. Right, and now that is filling. And then if I go ahead and re-put. Yep, there you go. All right, perfect. So now you can see it is constantly removing the carbon dioxide as it is pumping the gas. Perfect. All right, next step. The next step we're gonna do is grab the energy transmitter, boom. And so we're going to put it sideways. We don't want the energy transmitter to be touching the input to be going into here directly. We're going to actually put the input from the front. Speaking of, let's go ahead and grab these shafts, and that's going to allow us to send out the input from here. And so now let's go ahead and make sure we can control this thing. We'll grab the sequential gearbox, boom, as well as the rotator. What these two items is going to allow us to do, oops, not this. What these items will allow us to do is to control how much speed output there is, as well as go forward and back just with the push of 2 separate buttons. First, let's double check. So we had 125, 175. Okay, let's see. So this, we'll bring that down to 1.25, do 175, and then 50. Cool. Perfect. So there, that is looking good. We got the rotator. We power that on. Yeah, you can see that that is spinning now. Perfect. But this isn't spinning because this right here is what's going to allow us to push it forward or back. Excellent. And then lastly, we're going to grab one more energy transmitter and place it right here. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. We're going to go ahead and put a brass gearbox. Flip that over. I think flip that over as well. And now we'll place the energy transmitter. So this, for the most part, is the entirety of the frame of the vehicle. Let's go ahead. We'll add some shafts as well to expand the wheelbase. Whoops. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and turn that off. And so now let's add the wheels. So if you wanted to have a bit of a, like, I don't know, a sporty tank or something, you could put large wheels at the front on back, medium wheels at the front, and that will allow you to get a more sporty, like Batman v Superman type Batmobile effect. But for the purposes of today, to kind of recreate what we have here, we'll stick with just medium wheels all around. Cool. Let's go ahead and add our controls to it. There we go. This isn't actually needed, but it allows you to kind of look as if you're driving it. So it's cool. You can set it up to work with this, but yeah, it could be better. All right, we'll also go ahead and add these injectors to all of it. That's going to lower the fuel consumption. As well, we'll add the turbo to the first two. That's going to increase the RPM. This is going to be a very powerful engine. And you can see it also spins. It's cool. And now let us get everything connected. To do that, we'll need the cable from drive-by-wire mod. And that will allow us to use this as the hub. And then we can set this up. So I believe that is going to be for the wheel. That's the other wheel. I feel like I always get that wrong, but whatever. And then we'll go ahead. Shoulder right will be the top. Now we can also remove that. And then shoulder left is going to be the bottom. That's what's going to allow us to switch gears and change the speed. And then we'll use the trigger right at the top here, as well as trigger left at the bottom, and that should allow it to go forward and back. Let's go ahead and test out the vehicle. First, before I do anything so that I'll go crazy, we'll switch this to 9. I believe that is still an open source. All right, and now we'll go ahead and boom, and then let's try this out. First, I guess I should probably start the car. All right, so I just have to reverse the output, but I did get the wheels right, so that's good. All right, so yeah, they are moving at the same direction though, so that is good. All right, so I think all I have to do, if I want this to be right, you can just switch that over. We should be able to just switch that over. And then I think we just switch that over. Boom. And now, theoretically, look at that. And so I have it set where my controller allows me to use the right trigger to go forward, back trigger, or the left trigger to reverse, and then I can use the bumpers to increase the speeds. All right. Let's take a look. Why is this moving so slow? Oh, that's why. For whatever reason, the back wheels are not spinning. That's set for 9. There we go. And now, let's see. Yes, and yeah, you can see it now has a lot more speed because the back wheels are also... Yeah. But if you feel like the control isn't quite what you want, you can go ahead and add directional rotation to the back wheels as well. But yeah, definitely got a little zip. Perfect. So that, for the most part, is the basis of the vehicle. Now the rest of the process is just designing it however you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and design this or show this out in a bit of a time lapse. But before I do that, one more thing I shall show you. Let's go ahead. We'll get the toolkit from Trackwork, I believe. Yeah. So we'll grab the toolkit from Trackwork, as well as a suspension controller, also from Trackwork. And then we could use a hand crank, but I'm just going to use the creative motor because that allows it to go by a bit quicker. And so first and foremost, what we'll do is we'll place the suspension controller in the motor, and that's going to lower the suspension however much you want. And while that's going, we'll go ahead and increase the suspension stiffness. I like to do just about 2 to 3, depending on how tough or how strong of a suspension you want, or how stiff of a ride that you want. But yeah, and then we're gonna go ahead and lower this all the way down as low as we can. Don't worry. Perfect. Yeah, there we go. We'll just destroy that. And now you can see it's fully lowered down. Yeah. So from here, it's just kind of building it however you like. If you want to move the wheels, typically I wait until the end to fully line it up and adjust it. But this allows me to get a bearing on how wide it'll sit or how low it will be. Or, I'm sorry, because if you move it forward or back, it kind of adjusts the lift of each side. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do just like that. And now we can start building it out. So one thing I like to do in every one of these builds is I like to put a barrel. You could put any type. We'll just go ahead with a standard barrel for now. And then boom, boom. All right. So now we have the barrel there. And you can see in this, I have a lot of trapdoors that hides everything. Yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, actually, we're also going to need this rear thruster too. And we'll place that right on the back of you. Place 2. Delete that. And then there we go. The reason I had to do all of that is because you can't directly click on that. You have to crouch click. And if you crouch click, it always places it in the opposite direction. So, cool. But yes, so this is the entirety of the frame. Actually, one more thing. Let's make sure we get that thruster connected as well. So boom. And we're going to tag this to the Y button. I'm actually using a controller with this. So that's why it runs so fluidly. And then also we need a thruster upgrade because we want this to really move. We'll just upgrade all the way to the max. Perfect. And then what else was there? I think for the most part, that's it. Everything else is just building and designing. Let's just make sure. Let me make sure as if I can. I'm not tearing this vehicle apart for it. All right, cool. So what I like to do when I'm starting with the design, we'll just place some things there. And that's not going to be permanent. We're just going to use that to place some blocks. I like to add little boosters to the sides and the front, because sometimes, especially if you're going up hills and all that, it gets tough. There's not much clearance. So put in little thrusters allows you to kind of use it as a pseudo suspension lifter, if that makes sense. So what we'll do is we'll get some copycat supplies like the copycat trap door. We'll also grab copycat slope layer. We'll grab the copycat vertical slope. We'll actually grab some more of the layers to begin with. That maybe some of those. We'll also get the copycat board and box. Yeah, just like that. And then we also need some frame blocks, but for that, it might be easier to just grab it from here. So we have the windows, we have this part, we have that and that. And then this. Oh, and then also these gates. I believe that is all of the, yeah, I believe that's all of the framed parts that we shall need. All right, cool. All right, and then from here, let's go ahead and start building. And so the reason this on mine there, the reason that's gray is because I actually, instead of putting like I put a specific block that's called a ship anchor, and that's what allows me to, well, I'll show you in a bit. All right, so for the most part, the frame is, or the actual body work is kind of done. For the most part, now I'm just kind of building it out. But let's grab the toolkit once more, and that's going to allow us to kind of recenter the wheels and adjust that as we see fit. We don't want the stiffness up. We just want to move that back a little, just like so. And then, yeah, just like so. Cool. And then you can also, fun fact, use the wrench to remove some of the extra kibble off of the wheels, just in case it was kind of interfering with the design. So we'll just take those off, just like so. Perfect. Alright, cool. And so just to make sure we don't make that mistake, let's go ahead. We're gonna grab a black stained glass. Black stained glass, like so. We're just gonna put those on the windows here. Boom. Cool. And now all of the windows are done. And let's go ahead. So last color I did was this gray. I really liked it, but let's try for a different color. What color haven't I done? Well, all right, so the reason all of my vehicles is kind of sprayed out like that is because when the thing was set for 1, some of these, which also have 1 on the settings, got some of the commands or received some power by mistake. Cool. But yeah, so we've done blue. This is black. This is also black. Honestly, I'm probably gonna get rid of this. But we'll see. We have silver. I'm not really sure. Not really sure what would be a good color. But here we'll just do black, whatever. Black steel. We'll do the black local metal. I don't know why. We'll just yeah, we'll do the riveted. Yeah. Or we can try this black steel block. What does that look like? Awful. We'll just do that. Whatever. I'm just gonna cover the whole thing in it. Yeah. Just, keep it simple. Keep it. I'm a boring guy. Don't worry. Boom, boom. Just make all of that the same color. We're not gonna worry. Just gonna let it be. Boom, look at that. And just like that, now you too have a working Batmobile. Put that back there as well. And then, boom, look at that there. And then if you want to clean up, you can technically put these copy boards at the bottom of all of these just to kind of give it one uniform look. Ooh, I actually have to make sure I add those boosters to the commands or the controls. Yeah, so technically you can always do something like that. And then if you want, we'll just pick a different color. We'll just nope, okay. Yeah, we'll just make it the color of this one. Yeah, gray light steel. Just put it all over. Just go ahead and just paint that, it don't matter. Nobody's gonna be seeing this area anyways. This is just to kind of give it a nice and neat look. And then we could put the copy half stack there. And this one, just any light will do, but I like to do these frog lights. I feel like the color is very classic car color. Boom. And there we go. And then we'll also grab that toolkit again. And then we'll just bring the wheels in. Just like so. Oh, and then actually there's one more thing. We need these copy layers. Then we'll put one on top, one in the back, one on the top, one in the back. And then we'll boom. Cool. And there we go. We have a working Batmobile. So now if I go ahead and drop it, there you go, looking mighty good. And then one more thing, let's go ahead and grab a controller first. Sweet controller, and then we'll grab those cables again. Boom. And then, was it a board or the layers? Boom. And then open this door, grab the cable, and then we'll go ahead and set these for the A button, like so. And that's gonna allow the thrusters to bring it up in case. And then also we'll grab you, and then boom, one more test to see. Should probably start the vehicle. That is one thing I will say that I tend to forget to do. Yeah, so if you feel like it doesn't turn as well, just go ahead and add the second wheels to the cable. So this, and if you have trouble which one, it's always going to be opposite. So this will be like so, and then this one will be here. And now both wheels will turn at the same time, and when they turn, it should give better control. Sweet. Now we can whoa, I might have made it a little too stiff, or I might have put the suspension a little too low. Yeah, I might raise the suspension just a little bit. But you can also, you do have the A button that you can use. Let's see, we're gonna lower the suspension a little bit because that's probably the reason. Oh, actually the other thing you can always do is you can lift the suspension on one side or the other. So we'll go ahead and grab the suspension as well as the creative motor again. And so for this, we'll make sure that we place the suspension kit sideways, and then I think it's doing the wrong side. Yep, there we go. Perfect. And now with that raised, it should maybe do a lot better. Okay, yeah, we gotta almost ran myself over. But yeah, you can see it's a lot of trial and error, but we'll just go ahead and place you, turn you the other way, give you a second, boom. And now that should be just enough to make the ride just a little bit easier, maybe. Let's see, now that I'm on the road here, oh no, that's ugly, hold on. Yeah, let's fix this up real quick. "45 minutes, gonna have to do a lot of editing with this one. Why does it feel like it tries to turn one direction? But yeah, so you can see it moves pretty well. You can have it go up. It should be able to cross. Yeah, so you can see, you're able to see it. It does everything you need it to do. Let me double check the suspension one more time with the toolkit. Let's see on the wheels. Let's just bring that. Bring that to a 3, and then I guess we'll try to raise this just a little bit more. Cool. And now it should theoretically work perfectly fine. Just fine, just dandy. Yeah, see? There we go, now we're moving. And yeah, you can go ahead and speed up. You have the ability to do I will say when you boost, it does really mess with how fast it messes with the control, but yeah, you can see you're able to zoom through. You got a lot of speed. You can go ahead and take off if you wanted to. Technically, you can add some weights to this and have it like actually bring you up into the sky if you wanted. But yeah, that's a little bit of a little tutorial on how to make the Batmobile. Specifically, it's kind of like Batman the animated series Batmobile almost. And yeah, but if you want to see a tutorial on any other Batmobiles, or if you have a suggestion on like types of vehicles to make, I'm more than happy to give it a shot and see. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.